So basically, what we do is every week we do a rap class, and it's really designed to help the students. Like basically, what I want for when they graduate high school, I want them to be up on game to where they kind of know what to expect, whether it's throwing shows, performance, how to rock the mic, like be able to step on any stage, know what they're doing, and be ahead of the game, thinking about the business side, thinking about protecting their interests,
love it,
all of those things. And so basically we just bring in somebody every week and just have you kind of drop what knowledge you have. Basically, like I told you on Messenger. Like some of those gems that you've learned over the last few years. For sure. That if you would have known that in high school, you would have been a little bit ahead of the game.
Definitely.
So you already met Oliver, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Fire. He's fire.
And then we got this recorded and going live so that the students that can't make it can tune in.
Okay.
So what I'd like to do is just have you introduce yourself, kind of give us a little background on you and your music, and then we'll just go from there.
Okay.
With what your gems of wisdom.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm Khari, artist here in Cincinnati. Really been making music. Wrote my first rap at 6, and been constantly just making music ever since. When I was 9, I recorded my first song. I was just telling Oliver here too, I recorded my whole mixtape at 10. Cause I was just always in the studio. Like I was always in the studio. My dad was like a unofficial official manager for like his friends in the neighborhood. So I would just be like in the studio with them, just vibing out, listening to all their records, and just soaking up all their knowledge, all their game and stuff. So I just finally was like, look, I want to record. They put me in front of the mic. I went at it, and that's really what it's about. It's just like sometimes you just gotta do it, and that's what I was just encouraged by all them guys that was around me to do it. But moving forward, I was big into basketball. I played basketball growing up, so that was really like my number one thing. I was playing AAU basketball, played in high school at Walnut Hills High School, and played college ball. Was trying to play professional. Mind you, I was still writing lyrics in between times, because it was something that I actually love to do. I didn't really foresee myself being a rapper per se or making a career out of it. I knew I could rap, but it was just got to a point where like I was just playing basketball and I was just writing raps on the side, kind of. And I made a mixtape for my classmates and sold it for $5, and I was making some money, and that's when I started really kind of seeing like the hustle of it and like the grind of it, because I was really just selling mixtapes, to my classmates, and they was coming back to me giving me feedback and stuff, like knowing that I can rap, but they was just really saying like, yo, you got a gift and stuff like that. I was just like, I'm trying to hoop, man. I ain't listening to it, Like I'm just trying to play basketball. Like I know I can rap, but this is like, it's fun. You tell your people you want to be a rapper, they like, oh, of course you do. Like, Like, especially being black, like, it's like that stereotype of, Like, so I just was just still hooping, man, and then end up, getting a college scholarship, play ball for 4 years, try to play professional in Canada, end up getting cut. They said I was too short. Shout out to dude, because I know he's still watching out there, man, because he still following me and all that. So he said I was too short. And, it was really, it really pushed me in a direction to, like, really, assess what I wanted to do in my life. And, like, I know I want to make music, but how can I separate myself, from, like, just being a rapper that talks about things that's just on the surface. Talks about, meaningless things. So I always wanted to come into the game, like, just, talking about speaking on something real, not being preachy, but just speaking on my real experiences in life and things that I went through growing up, things that I seen as far as like growing up in my neighborhood and things like that. So really just start, taking it serious. Probably back in 2018, I would say I started taking it really, really serious in like the marketing standpoint, the brand standpoint, and put out a mixtape. Cincinnati, put that out in 2019. It did well. Then I put out another project at the end of 2019 called Skywalker EP, because I'm a big Star Wars head. I love Star Wars. So I felt it was only right to do something like that, do something fun with that. And then I just released my latest EP, This Is How We Feel, which is a 3-part series that I'm doing, 3-part EP series that I'm doing, 7 songs each. So now it's just all about, just gaining a fan base and just keep on pushing and just reaching as many people. And also with doing that, staying true to who I am as an artist, staying true to who I am as a person and making sure everything that I put out is, it's nothing meaningless like I was saying before. So that's a long drawn out background, my bad. Just gave y'all the whole rundown. But yeah, that's how it all started and where it's at now. So yeah.
How'd you decide that you wanted to? I'm assuming it's probably part of your personality, but there's that decision that you make when you really start taking rap seriously about which direction you're gonna go.
Yeah.
You can kind of go in the more conscious direction, the more serious direction. Mm-hmm. You could go in kind of fun party jams. Did you ever come to a crossroad of thinking like, which way am I gonna go?
It was more so I knew exactly what I wanted to do once I started it, because my pops was a big influence on me. I grew up listening to the Nas, the Jay-Z's, the Biggies, the KRS-Ones, because my dad was big in that hip hop era. So I grew up on that. Then when I started doing my own research, I automatically gravitated to that type of sound. So I automatically gravitated to J. Cole when he came out. I automatically gravitated to Kendrick when he came out. Automatically to Wale, those guys, and then even some underground cats like Crooked Eye and K Reno, and just digging, just going down that rabbit hole. So I think it was an easy decision for me because it was just ingrained in me, So I knew I always knew I was not necessarily, I'm not gonna say good music and bad. I always knew a certain type of music that I wanted to make, because at the end of the day, it's all music. We all can. Everybody's telling their story in their own way. So for me personally, I just gravitated towards a more conscious sound with my music.
So what are some? So you started rapping in high school. You started doing music in high school, and then all these guys are in high school right now.
Yeah.
And what are some things that you've learned that if you could go back and tell young Khari, hey, you need to know this, you need to know that. What are some ideas or some thoughts?
Man, first and foremost, the craft. It's not this. If this is something that you want to do, really with your career, it has to be drills. So coming from a basketball background, I always thought of it as drills. But when it was with music, I saw music as kind of I felt it was so natural to me, so I didn't have to really work on my craft per se. But you have to work on your craft every day. And having this place here, I see y'all already doing it. Y'all already working on your craft, so y'all already 10 steps ahead. That's the number one thing: working on your craft, doing those drills, doing those writing drills, doing those flow drills, practicing them beats. Learning, diving into stuff. So that's the number one thing. Number two is knowing exactly what you want to say, and also knowing exactly who you want to target as an audience, right? Your niche crowd, your niche, right? You don't have to be a Lil Uzi or a J. Cole, But you have to find your own sound and target that audience, because now, with the way the internet is now, you can target your own crowd and you can have a loyal fan base based off your own sound, So I would say find your niche, work on your craft, first and foremost. Third, have your business together. Know what to research what your ASCAP is. Research it. Get an ASCAP, Get a BMI. Get that stuff in place early.
What is that?
So, ASCAP is publishing and royalties, right? So anytime your song is to register your song in this database, basically, your music, whatever it is, register in this database to where they keep track of every time it gets played, every time it gets listened to, things like that, and that's how you collect your money. That's how you get your money that's how you get your royalties based off your song being registered in that ASCAP or that BMI. And it's super important because you can do a song with somebody, right? And nobody would know. You would not get paid for that if you don't have your like business end on that. You know what I mean? Your ASCAP or your BMI end on that. So you can your song, that song can blow up. You a feature on that too. Say you a feature on it. That song can blow up, and you will not get paid for it at all because it's not documented in that database. You know what I mean? So that's super important. And like I did a bunch of songs, like, you know what I mean, when I was in high school, and who knows, like one of those could have probably did something, or I could probably still be making money off those now if I would have, you know, registered those and do what I needed to do on that business end. So that's super important. Your ASCAP and your BMI. Also, it's other things.
That's the same with all music. So like
everything.
Music.
Yeah.
Like for any singer songwriter, any type of that.
As a producer, you're a writer. So even if you make the beat, you're considered a writer on that track. So you need your ASCAP, you need your BMI, your number, your IPI number, and all that. And IPI is just the number that comes with your ASCAP. Once you register with ASCAP, it comes with that. They automatically give it to you. So you just copy that IPI number, send it out to people, and do that. Also, one thing I've just learned, not just learned, but in the past year, is publishing. Like you need separate publishing as well. And that's one of the reasons I started my own record label, to have my own publishing as well. So when I am approached, when the day comes when I am approached by a bigger distribution label, I have my business in place. So they don't try to, you know, come in and mess up my business like and try to, you know, take money that's rightfully mine from me. I have my business already in place. Like my label, BTB Records, is already locked in. So we're going to have to partner. If I'm talking to Atlantic Records or Rock Nation or whoever, I already got my business in. You know what I mean? I built up my name with my business. Now you're going to have to partner with me. I need a certain percentage. You know what I mean? So all those little things and that comes into play, even sound exchange, things like that. You need to register your songs with that for radio play. You know what I mean? If your song get played on the radio, you need to collect those royalties. So it's a few steps that you got to take before, you know, you want to put out music that people don't understand too. So yeah.
How did social media help your career as an artist?
It helped everything for me personally, because when I first realized that, all right, I want to start doing music, like I said, back in 2018, I was like, no one's just going to listen to a song that I want to do, that, you know, or an original song. I can't, and it's not their fault. You know what I mean? We can't get mad at somebody that never heard of us before and expecting them to just listen to our song. We gotta build a following. So with social media, I'd use social media to put out freestyles. So I would do a freestyle every week to a classic beat or to a popular beat that everybody knew. So that way it's like, okay, it's familiar to the audience, and if I'm spitting some bars on there, they're gonna be like, hold on, he can rap, and I like this beat, like I know this beat. So I would do that every week and just keep it going. Consistency. No matter how many people liking it or listening to your music, just keep going. And I did that for like 10 weeks straight, I want to say. Like, it might have been more, but I would just bang out a bunch of records and just have them stacked up, ready to release. Like a minute or 2 minute freestyles just to release, and just building up my following. Like just leveraging social media to where people are starting to like, okay, he can actually rap. So by that time, I'm ready to release some original work. It's like, I'm going to tune in now because I know what he did with stuff that I already know. Now, let's see how he do, you know what I mean? So it was just that psychology part of it that I was trying to really tap into with social media.
That's a good question, Sean.
Yeah, real good question.
And that's something that so Sean and Savion are both vocalists.
Okay, fire.
You can take those ideas and do something like that to build up your following. You could pick a song a week that you wanted to perform.
Yeah.
To sing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Show off your voice.
Mm-hmm.
I really like how you were talking about building up to what you've made, and it's all about gaining that trust with your audience.
Yes.
After you gain that amount of trust, then then they'll start tuning in more to your videos and stuff like that, like all your rap.
Exactly, bro. Trust is big, like, and that's why I always go back to, like, it's like as an artist, you have to. It's like dating. You know what I mean? It's like you don't just go up to a girl and be like, you know what I mean? You don't just go up to her and be like, come be with me. You know what I mean? Like, be my girl. Like, no, that's not how you do it. That's not. She gonna look at you like you crazy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta court. You know what I mean? You have to court your audience. So it's like dating. I always look at it like dating. Even with new fans that I get now, it's like I personally reach out to them like, yo, thanks for listening. Like, I shoot them a DM or something. Like, thanks for listening to my music. I really appreciate it. Things like that. Like, being genuine with people and like showing them that, you know what I mean, like every listen counts. Like, no one is, you know, everything matters. You know, as an artist, like, we have to take that serious, like with the people that's taking the time to listen, and you have to build that trust. So it's like, if I'm dating somebody, I'm I think you a nice person, whatever. You know what I mean? I think I would like to get to know you more. Things like that. So as an artist, you like, this is a song that I got. You know what I mean? I would like you to listen to it. If you like it, that's okay. If you don't, that's fine too. But I would love for you to listen to it. If they don't, that's fine. They not the one. You know what I mean? They not the one. So you just have to treat it like, just be very professional with your approach. Be very genuine with your approach. And like you said, that trust is big, because trust is big in dating, right? You can't be with somebody that you can't trust. So you have to, you know, if they expecting this out of you, if you present this image of yourself as an artist, like if I present myself as this conscious artist and then I contradict myself and come out with something that's not me, they will peep that. You know what I mean? They will see that. Now, that's not saying that I can't branch out and do different sounds and elevate my sound, but my content-wise, my lyrics, the things that I'm speaking on, I have to stay true to that no matter what, and elevate that, not go backwards, if that makes sense. So, yeah, bro, definitely agree. That trust is huge.
How did you build your trust with your audience?
I think, like I said, I did a bunch of little things, like, and now looking back, I'm realizing a lot of them was just like seeds that I planted, like the hip hop weeklies that I was doing, dropping those. You know what I mean? People that would comment on my posts, I'm responding to it. I'm DMing people that just followed me and saying that they like my music. I'm DMing them back and like, yo, thank you. I got some new stuff coming. You know what I mean? So would appreciate your support, like, on this journey, things like that. And also another big thing is putting out music that's gonna stand the test of time. You know what I mean? Like timeless music. So not making stuff timely, but timeless. So not because something is hot right now, like a sound is hot, and going off of that, or a trend is hot and going off of that, staying locked into what I want to talk about. But also at the same time, we can't be blind to what's going on. You know, we also have to. It's a push and pull relationship. You know what I mean? You have to find that balance between giving yourself but also making it enjoyable. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of hip hop that I heard, and it's just like, bro, like, you're just hammering down this message at me and I don't want to hear it. Like, you know what I mean? People not gonna respond to that. So it's just like, you have to find that balance of like saying what you want to say but also making it enjoyable. Like, make a song that people can dance to. You know what I mean? Make a song that people can ride in the car to. Make a song that people can listen to in their headphones when they work out. You know what I mean? Be mindful of all those things when you're writing, but keep your message at the core of it and really just stand true to you. I think that's how you build your trust and how you also build new fans, bring in new people. You know what I mean? Because this person might like this song because it helped them get through a tough time in their life. This song might help them because they like to listen to this because it motivates them to work out and, you know, go to the gym. So I think being mindful of that and finding that balance between your message and, you know, making it enjoyable for people when they listen to it.
It's a good point between the balance between what you want to do as an artist, and then also thinking about the audience.
Word.
What else? What other questions you guys have?
How do you stay on top of your routine? Like, what techniques do you do to stay consistent and not deal with burnout?
That's a great question, bro, because burnout will come. Trust me. You feel like you doing, like, I feel like I just left out of a burnout phase, because I go through a lot of burnout phases. It's going to happen. Trust me. It's going to happen. Because I was just trying to set up a show, execute that, record, meeting with different people to get more shows, meeting, just, you feel like you just going rampant, you know what I mean, just running at a fast pace. So one thing that I always do, bro, and it might sound corny or whatever, but meditate. Bro, I just chill, and like every morning I just chill 10 minutes. And it ain't even got to be on no, you know what I mean? It just be on some, like, I'm just chilling. I'm sitting here, not thinking about nothing. 10 minutes, eyes closed, you know what I mean? And just really just try to be present and not think about nothing. And then after that, it's like, now you can go about your day. Now you can go about the tasks that you need to do. Also, as an artist, I think one thing I do is try to relieve the pressure off of me. I just have fun with a beat. I just get on YouTube and just put on any beat, not to like record to or like to release. Just have fun. Like, I'm about to just have fun. I'm about to free write and say anything. And one thing my dad used to have me do is he'd turn on the beat and he'd put a piece of paper in front of me and I just write down anything that comes to my head. It could be the dumbest thing ever. And like, you know what I mean? Like, it could be anything, like talking about my day, talking about my hair, my shoe, whatever. Like, I'm just free writing for like 5 to 10 minutes straight. And I think that's fun. Like, you got to make it fun. You got to do little activities to keep it fun. You know what I mean? Because music is energy. You know what I mean? Music is like, it's almost spiritual. It's like a spiritual process. So you got to be like, you got to treat yourself like and I'm getting kind of like celestial, but you got to treat yourself like this, like, source of, like, that's receiving source from like a higher power. You know what I mean? That's just like, so you got to treat yourself like that. And one thing I do as well is like take myself out on a date by myself. You know what I mean? Like, I go somewhere like by myself. I go for a walk by myself or go to the museum. Like, I went to the art museum last year by myself. That was my first time going to like the art museum. And just walking around, bro, and just like, you know what I mean, dating yourself, like, cause your artist is childlike. To be an artist, you have to have some type of like, childish nature to you. You got to keep that like child alive, that kid inside of you alive. So that's one thing I do to like, or a bunch of things I do to like keep myself, from experiencing that burnout. But burnout is gonna come, trust me. It might be for a day, it might be for a week, but it'll pass. Just know, like, all right, you gotta reset and like keep pushing.
I like what you said about staying in the present moment,
Mhm.
because a lot of people forget that on the way to stardom and stuff like that.
Yes.
They're always thinking about the future and thinking about what they want, and a lot of people get greedy. They don't
Mhm.
think about their fans as much, and it's really important to not take your fans for granted or take the people around you for granted.
Mhm.
What they do for you. I
Exactly.
really applaud you.
Love, bro. Yeah, man. Cause I also think it's like, it's being an artist. You naturally gonna be being an artist that wants a career out of it. You naturally gonna be thinking about the future. You know what I mean? So as artists, we have to take that time to like, all right, center yourself, present. You know what I mean? And appreciate the things around you. Appreciate what you already have. Appreciate, like, for me, I appreciate that I have people that actually listen to my music right now. Obviously, I'm nowhere near where I want to be, but I'm appreciative of the core following that I have here in Cincinnati right now. And that's going to mean a lot to me 10 years from now, 20 years from now. I'm always going to remember that. You know what I mean? So it's always about appreciating where you are now, not being satisfied, but appreciation. We never satisfied as artists. You can't be. But appreciation is always key. Take some time to smell the roses and like really just, appreciate where you are and take that time to be present in certain moments. You don't always have to be on the go. And I talk about that a lot in my music, being on the go and trying to train myself to be more present, because I struggle with that too. So yeah.
I think that's an interesting point, especially as an artist. I see a lot of, especially in the local scene, is that you see a lot of hustle, but a lot of times people are spreading themselves so thin that they can't engage in like authentic relationships because they're just trying to do so much. And it's not bad that they're trying to do so much, but you can get lost even at a low level before any level of like big success.
Right.
You can get lost in the attempt to be something or do something, and you can really, Oliver, we were talking about making relationships last week.
Yeah.
And about networking and stuff.
Yeah.
And so there's that fine line between like the hustle and the authenticity.
Mm-hmm.
And so when people pick up that if you're not centered or grounded the way you're talking about,
Yes.
which has to be an individual thing outside of the music.
Absolutely. And like one thing I do, like right now, I'm on a social media binge, social media detox. Like, so I'm not on social media. I don't know how long I'm not going to be on social media, but I'm just off of it completely right now for the time being, because I think we get caught up in, like how Wally was saying, we get caught up in that hustle and you seeing all your peers around you like hustling. That means, oh, I gotta hustle. Like, oh, this guy's doing this. Oh, I gotta get on it. I gotta get in. I gotta do this, do that. You know what I mean? So I think one thing as artists, you have to separate your social media self, because trust me, we all got a social media self, and nowadays we got a social media self and who we are individually, internally. You know what I mean? So separate that and just be you. Be around people that, you know what I mean, kick it. Like, you know what I mean, chill, like watch a show, watch a movie, do things like that. Know that you are where you're supposed to be. Wherever you are right now is where you are supposed to be right now. And you just keep moving forward from there, and don't compare your grind to another person's grind. Like, why would you compare what's on your plate to somebody else's plate? You know what I mean? So that's a big thing. Like, make sure we just separate that. You know what I mean? Just separating that social media influence from like what you truly need to be doing and what you truly want, because that's big, especially now because everything is social media. So yeah,
That's hard to do too.
it is. It's definitely hard to do.
That's a good, just in life in general, is a good, because as you keep getting older, you graduate college, you'll see friends that have better jobs, friends that are maybe going to law school, or they're doing things that you can compare to, and that comparison always can lead to depression.
Yeah.
In a big way, because what else? Oliver, you got any questions?
I don't even know. I mean, so going back to like the networking thing, like building connections, what would you say, like from a producer standpoint, what would you say is the best way to get placements and to get people on my beats?
Man, I would say, now I'm gonna probably sound, from an artist standpoint, it's probably gonna sound, because I'm an artist, so you know what I mean. But one thing that I seen, like the producers that I work with now, that I work with in the city now, one thing that they did was reaching out to artists, or like, I know we in COVID now, but like going to an artist show, linking up with them and saying, you know, I want to sit in with you. I think sitting in with a person, and now you can, I mean, if you don't want to be around people, you can Zoom, whatever, you know what I mean? But having some type of like, where you seeing somebody, you building that, you know, that connection, that relationship. Like, I don't know if y'all know Nick. Do they know Nick?
Yeah.
So Nick, okay, TJ.
Here.
Yeah, Nick's the homie.
Yeah, Nick, that's my guy.
Yeah,
so
he's mad talented.
yeah, TJ brought Nick. So he was in Louisville. TJ brought Nick to one of our shows back in January. After the show, we linked up. He was like, yo, I produce, I engineer. I'm like, all right, let's link up. Like, and he ended up coming to the studio, and ever since then, it's been like constant clicking. Like, so now me and Nick are locked in. We have so many records that we've recorded, and that we got done. There's still more that we need to do. But that's an example of like marketing yourself as a producer and building a relationship with an artist, because I think that's the best way for both of them to get off the ground. You know what I mean? Like both of y'all to make some money too. You know what I mean? Y'all do them 50-50 splits on your, when we talk about the ASCAP and things like that, like do the 50-50 splits. So whatever he's making, you're making, and y'all growing together. I know it's some, as far as placements, I know it's some outlets where you can, like, I would look into movies.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? I have it's a website that I was just told I'll get that to y'all. I'll give it to Wally so he can give it to y'all. But it's like, it's a website, it's a bunch of websites where you can get placements. Like they do song placements, they do beat placements, all that. And that's a way to bring in revenue as you build your career, you know what I mean? To bring, yeah, commercials. Like you would be surprised. Like a lot of, like this stuff is just, like they call it royalty free music, because when you give it to them, they sell you the money, and then the people, movies are able to choose from that database of royalty free music that they receive from producers. So that's another way. But I think if you really want to make it, if you want to be a beat maker or a producer, you know what I mean? It depends. Like as a producer, you have to, like I say, building that relationship is key, like with artists, because that's the way y'all grow together. And like I was telling you when we was back there, like the producer is the biggest part of the game.
Yeah.
They get the respect, but they don't at the same time. You know what I mean? Because it's like the artist needs the producer, but the producer doesn't necessarily need the artist. The producer can put out a beat tape and make, you know what I mean, and make bread. But an artist is not gonna put out an acapella.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so leveraging that relationship, locking in with like 2 or 3 artists. If you know rappers in here, like, you know what I mean, start young. That's one thing I wish I'd done in high school. Locked in with producers, like instead of just getting on YouTube and buying beats. You know what I mean? Like I didn't start actually sitting down with producers until 2019. Until I started working on, like, you know, like Cincinnati and things like that. Like I was just on YouTube and like trying to buy beats, but that's cool. But if you have the opportunity to start out, if you have like this space, you know, it's a hub of like just young creatives. If you have that opportunity to lock in with a artist your age, around your age, bruh, do it. Because y'all can go so far, man. Like so far, like just, and finding each other, like meeting in the middle to find that sound.
Yeah.
Like, you know, this artist style, you know your style, meeting in the middle. Oh man, I can go. Oh, I wish, bro. I wish I had a producer.
Yeah.
Like I'm telling you, like reach out now to like young artists and like really lock in with them. Say you want to produce a track for them. You know what I mean? And go from there with it. I think that's the best way.
What are some ways to not do it?
To not do.
So as a rapper, if you've been approached by producers, beat makers, are there some things that have turned you off to be like, no, I'm not working with that person?
I mean, for me, like I'm like, I talk to everybody, so it's like I like give everybody like a shot, because it's like, I don't know, but I would just say, like, if it's trash, like, I don't know, like, I can't, like, let me think. Oh, okay, this is one thing that turns me off. Like, a producer coming to me saying, like, all right, you want to buy this beat from me, like, $50 or whatever, like, however much they say, but, like, bro, like, I don't even know you, like, how are you trying to tell, like, it's the same thing we going back to, like, trying to get people to listen to your music. Like, you can't just come at people like, all right, I got this beat. They send you a 30-second snippet of a beat and expect you to buy it right then and there off of the snippet. Like, no, like, I think producers have to realize that artists we're like weird people. So, like, we have to, like, live with stuff. Like, we have to kind of, like, vibe with stuff. That's why I say the best way to protect yourself as a producer, without, like, just giving away free beats, is to lock in with somebody. That way, it's the best of both worlds. The artist can live with your sound, can lock in with you, but they don't necessarily have to. They don't necessarily take your music and, like, they don't necessarily get free material from you. You know what I mean? Now, if it's a good relationship and y'all, after y'all locked in, it could go somewhere, y'all figure y'all business out. If you want to sell them that beat, whatever, or if y'all want to do a 50-50 split, which I think is the best way to do it. because it's like y'all growing together. This song is gonna be as good as we take it. You know what I mean? So, but I don't like when like producers come at me like on some like, yo, 30-second snippet. Yeah, this $50 for a lease. Like, oh my gosh, like no.
Like, what I've been doing is I'll just like, I'll see somebody that I like a rapper that I like.
Mm-hmm.
I usually go for like kids around my age, and I'll be like, yo, either hit them up in their comments or in their DM. I'll be like, yo, let's work.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's just where I'll start. I mean, it hasn't really built in anything, but I like. Is that you think?
I would say go farther than that. I would say if you really genuinely like their sound, and that's another thing. Like, I feel like as a producer, you should like their music.
Yeah.
If you want to produce for them, so if you genuinely like their sound and it's your sound that you know you can make for them, go farther than a comment. Shoot them a DM. Give them a couple, like, you know what I mean? Like, make it like you actually texting one of your homies. You know what I mean? Like, don't just, because I feel like on social media, them comments get kind of like, you know what I mean, get lost in the sauce sometimes. Like, and people, you know, people just checking their comments and maybe just liking it or whatever and not really paying attention. I would say, you know what I mean, like, DM them. If they got an email on their page, like, which most artists should have, email them.
Right.
Shoot them an email like, yo, I'm a producer. I like your sound. You know what I mean? If you want to work, I'm willing to work. Let's do that. Like, really take that next step.
Yeah.
Besides just commenting. I think that you would see more results with like getting some work. Yeah.
It probably helps if you know something, if you give them something specific that you like. Like, I listen to this song.
Yeah.
So it shows that, like, you're not just spamming accounts. Like,
Exactly.
I listen to your album. I think that we have the same, you know, that.
Exactly.
So that they kind of cut through the, like, because I get, even just for, is me, for what I do, I get so many people hitting me up like, hey, or they might just hit me with a link to an album or a song.
Yep.
They might, hey, listen to this, or my favorite, run it up. It's like you haven't said anything to me. You just sent me this link. But then there are other people, like how I got onto you.
Word.
You sent me a message.
Yeah.
And I can't remember exactly what it was. And then we ended up, we chatted, and then you sent me Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And then that put me on so then I became like #1 Khari fan.
Exactly. No, that's exactly how it happened though, because it was like I knew Wally was like, he knew his stuff. So I knew that he was like really big on this hip hop scene. So I'm like, you know, I want a real hip hop person to listen to my music, because I think that's what my music is about. So I sent that message, you know what I mean, like, and was genuine with it, like, yo, what's good, man? Like, I got this new music. I forget exactly what I said, but it was like I sent him that message, and that's exactly how this relationship started. And that's why I'm like right here talking to y'all, because of that relationship. You know what I mean? That networking and like building that relationship. Because people look at networking as like, oh, it's like this, like you trying to be slick. No, it's like networking is like, you have to do it. Network is about relationships and, you know, talking to people, and like more so not what you can, what they can do for you, but what you can do for them. You know what I mean? That's what networking is about. It ain't about like, oh, I'm trying to get on, put me on. No, it's like, I got something that you might be interested in. And that's how networking works, because it's like, if that person has something that I'm interested in, and I have something that person is interested in, then that's how we form a relationship. So that's how you have to think when you're networking.
And then if you show up to their shows, you know, everybody's trying to get people to come to their shows.
Yeah.
If you actually show up and you're present at the shows, you know, you can't necessarily get into clubs right now, but like, you know, when you turn 18 or whatever, and you're just, a lot of it has to just be being around.
Yeah.
And people will slowly begin to, the same thing with your photography and stuff too. Just the more people you
That's how I met him.
Literally. No, I was about to say.
I got invited to his first album show, and I was like, why not? I enjoy going to shows anyway, and they didn't even ask me to take pictures. They already had a camera guy and everything. I just was like, I'm going to just bring my stuff just cause, and just pull up. And then I enjoyed the performance. I love the environment, the vibe, and I wanted to say something to him, and then here we are today. I mean,
literally.
It was really that simple. It really wasn't too much to it. It was
it's
just,
not.
you know, closed mouth don't get fed, so don't be afraid to ask. The worst answer you get is no.
Yeah.
And like you said earlier, if that person's just not meant for you, they just not meant for you. There's thousands, millions of other people that's probably meant to help you out in some kind of way. So
Yes.
yeah, man, we all still learning. I'm gonna say he's learning, I'm learning, Wally's learning, I learn from Wally, I'm learning from y'all.
Mhm.
You know, just because I'm older than y'all don't mean nothing. Like I learn from
Exactly.
y'all sometimes, to be honest with you. You know, so
Exactly.
The reason that I'm able to get people to come in is because I've spent so much time promoting other people
Yeah.
to where, and doing things for other people before we even started doing this, I just wanted to promote the Cincinnati hip hop scene so much that I'd take videos for people, I'd post them, I'd share their music, all that stuff. And so now I have a relationship to where when I reach out, it's like,
Yes.
oh, okay, boom, 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 whoop-de-whoop.
Right.
But I think a theme that you've been talking about is just authenticity
Yeah.
and just being genuine
Yeah.
about who you are
Yeah.
and in your relationships.
Always, bro. Like being, like that's the only way I know how to like be with people. Like I'd rather be real and they don't like me than be fake and like try to appease someone and like, you know what I mean, be something that I'm not. You know what I mean? So I just think, bro, stay true to yourself as an artist, as a person, whoever you are. Like stay true to yourself and like you will start seeing, you will reap the benefits because you will put yourself, you won't even know what positions you put yourself in. You will just end up in a room where the opportunity is there just off you being yourself. You know what I mean? So, man, it's definitely not that hard to do, to like be successful with this. I just think people think about it too. You know what I mean? People like make it too, make it bigger than what it is. You know what I mean? And put, you know what I mean? So just keep it going, like consistency. If you take 2 steps back, that's cool. Just make sure you take 3 more steps forward, and then you'll be farther than you was previously. You know what I mean? So that's all I think it's about, is building the relationships, being prepared for that opportunity. You know what I mean? People always want the opportunity, but be prepared. That's why you hear me talk about having my own record label already, having that LLC already, like with my record label, because I know the time is gonna come. I don't know if it's gonna come tomorrow. I don't know if it's gonna come next year, 2 years, 3 years. But I know when it comes, I'm gonna be ready, because that's how you be. People will get an opportunity and lose it because they weren't prepared for it. Squander, because now you gotta wait 10 years, 15 years, or never for the next opportunity to come. You know what I mean? So always be prepared for the opportunity. Always have everything in order. So when it's that time, when it's your time, it's your time. Like, let's go. Like, we about to hit the flow. Like, so.
What are some other things to have, like I think about, like having your website ready, having your material up to where when somebody asks for a question of like, oh, where can I find you?
Yeah.
To be able to know, okay, boom, here's
Word.
things like that. What are some other things that you think about
I think,
ready?
yeah, I think a website is good to have, but even, because websites can get expensive if you don't have the funds for it at that moment. So another alternative you can do is set up like a link tree. You know what I mean? That's your personal, that can be like your website, so to speak. And it's free. You can put your links to your music in there. You know what I mean? You can put links to your videos in there, links to your social media, links to your mail, to your email, which is huge. Like email sign up, get people to get emails. I spent the whole 2 years gathering emails, just reaching out to people. Yo, can I get your email so I can keep you updated on things?
Really?
My music. And now I got like a list of like, I would say 400 emails, just in my Gmail folder or whatever it's called. And so I can send out email blasts. So then once you build up enough revenue, you can get that website and start, organizing your website. But don't stress. I wouldn't stress too much over a website if you necessarily don't have the funds right now. It's other ways you can do. Like I said, like the link
Like
tree.
the concept of a website,
Exactly,
having a place to send
exactly.
everybody.
Because social media is the website now,
Right.
but you can consolidate all that into like this link. Put your Instagram in there, put your Twitter, put your Facebook, your YouTube, your Apple Music, your Tidal, all that in there. Put your email in there, so people can subscribe to your email list, things like that. So, it's another thing I would say, business wise. Really, it's really like everything else outside of that. Like I think it's just out of your creativity. Like people always say that you gotta get this $1,000 video made, music video made. When you don't, you can literally do it on your phone, bro. Like I've done music videos on my phone, like whole music videos. I got them on YouTube and they're pretty good. You know what I mean? Like not saying nothing is gonna be the quality of $1,000 music video, but you don't need it to connect to people.
Right.
If that makes sense. Like you don't necessarily need that to connect to people. Even with like, even if you don't have money for studio time, get you a $50 mic, you know what I mean, and record yourself for the time being. Send it out to a friend. You might know a friend that makes and master that might mix and master your stuff for free. Do that. I started out like that too. I bought my own mic, was recording in my bedroom, start getting on YouTube University.
Yeah.
You hear me? Like YouTube University. I know TJ said, I know you know, like, bruh, get on there, learn how to do stuff yourself first. And it works better to when you start branching that out and start outsourcing that type of work, you know exactly how you want your stuff to sound. I know since I've been mixing my own stuff and I rarely let other people touch my stuff now because I just got to a point where I think I can mix my own stuff. But if I trust somebody enough to mix it, I'll be like, I'm in there and I know exactly what I want. I know exactly what I want this to sound because I've done it myself already. You know what I mean? So it's no excuses. Like if you want to do it, it's no excuses. Especially now, we got too many resources, too many things we can research and just do. So, yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah, man.